Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. The 12th annual Jimmy Awards will stream on July 15th. The awards honor the very best musical theater performers in the nation's high schools. So please say hello to my guests, the show's director, Van Kaplan, and choreographer, Kiesha Lalama. How are you?
Just great. It's great to be with you.
Well, listen, I usually do this in a studio with all of you, and this is so exciting. I love your backgrounds. This is the new now, the virtual world we live in, right?
Of course.
Okay, first of all, thank you for being here. First off, how are you both and where are you both? Kiesha, I'll start with you.
Sure, I'm doing great. I'm fantastic. Just came off the entire Jimmy Awards experience, rehearsals process, and I'm at home in Pittsburgh.
Beautiful. Van, for you.
Yes, I'm in Pittsburgh also. As just like Kiesha, we just finished. We're editing right now, leading up to the big show.
Okay, congratulations on the 12th annual Jimmy Awards that will take place virtually on Thursday, July 15th. How excited are the two of you?
We are terribly excited. We've spent so much quality time with these nominees, and they're so talented. It's just wonderful, and I'm so happy that we were able to do the awards program this year the way we did it.
Yeah. Kiesha, for you, how excited are you?
I'm thrilled. Seriously, the experience has been just enlightening and inspiring as always. Little different process, but I'm more excited this year because it's been such a longer process for us. So I think the payoff is going to be there. It was certainly rewarding, but I think the audience is going to definitely see what we've been working for so very long. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, of course, this year is virtual. We've all sort of, learned the virtual world. What have the challenges been for both of you with putting this spectacular award show together?
Well, challenges, I don't know that they're challenges. It's just new opportunities. We actually started the process a lot earlier than we normally do. So when we found out last year that we had to cancel, we started planning for the next year. We knew we wanted to do something virtual. We started creating how we would do it, how the Zoom would work with all of our nominees. And so that kind of process has been really rewarding. And then, of course, to see your dreams kind of come to fruition as it all unfolds, that's very exciting. So it's been new and different, but I think in a lot of ways a little more personal, because we've been able to spend time, in this Zoom world, you're one-on-one with the people that you're working with. So in a lot of ways, we've got to spend a lot more time with the nominees than we normally do.
Kiesha, you want to add to that?
Yeah, we've been speaking about this a little bit, Van and I together, and I feel as if for the choreography aspect, so much of choreography is direction of movement. And so the early preparation that a lot of people aren't going to see has been happening 6 to 9 months earlier. Van has been storyboarding and really getting the story that he wants to tell and weave together for the last, I don't even know how many months, like I said, 6 to 9 months. But for me, it was really about being clear from the get-go. We had to be prepared walking in. So the process had to be done prior to really engaging with the participants and being very clear and very detailed on what we were looking for, because so much of this was about creating a film rather than a live stage event. So the process was kind of flipped and had done, just you had to prepare much earlier. So that was a little bit different that way, but I would say as rewarding and fulfilling, certainly.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So, did the kids get kits to create their world? Tell me what
kits. Oh my gosh. Well, we knew that we were going to be doing all of this virtually, so we sent them out an incredible amount of equipment. We sent them out 4 big lights that they set up. Many of them set them up in their living rooms and their bedrooms, green screens and white screens to put behind them with stanchions so they could, put those up, microphones, ring lights, all kinds of equipment, which, was its whole kind of education process in itself. but they learned how to set all this equipment up. And, what the great thing is that they'll have it now, it's all theirs. And when they audition for college or, even job interviews now are all being done on Zoom, they know how to look their best. And I think that's really kind of a wonderful takeaway from the whole process.
See, I've talked to so many performers and stars around the world all during this pandemic, and people have been like, Richard, I took our closet apart. That's where I do my, voiceovers. My husband is my reader, or my wife is, and it's like you have to be a stage manager, a lighting designer, a costume designer. You have taught these kids so much more about the business with what you're doing for them this year. There's always a silver lining in everything. And that's when the great thing about artists and creators, what you realized was you said, oh, we're now in this pandemic. It's all going to be virtual. Kiesha and I are going to find our way to make this different, make it the new now, or whatever this is going to be. And that's so exciting with creative people. They will always find a way to make magic. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And the nominees were great. I mean, they took it all in, and I think hopefully it'll be a rewarding experience for them, and these skills they'll be able to take on for the rest of their lives.
So Kiesha, I want to ask you, so dancing, I know there's always a big spectacular opening number where we all get goosebumps sitting there filming this for our pieces for BroadwayWorld. Is there a big production number? How did you piece this all together in your mind? What can you tell us?
Well, I didn't want to let you down. So this was important to me. And there are some signature moves that are happening, some signature Jimmy Awards moments. So yeah, it was very important to stay true to community and building this repertoire and this company. And, when Van and I walked in to this 12 years ago, we knew that we were building much more than just a show or a one-off. There's a tremendous sense of community within all the alumni, 12 years, and each individual year certainly. But that choreography and these group numbers shines through, and you'll be very happy because there's several signature moments. And I thought about you, so I'm excited.
I already have goosebumps when you spoke that about the opening number and these signature moves. I'm like, there it goes. I get So what was it like working in the thick of things with the kids? Was it the same amount of time, or due to the virtual aspect of everything, did you work more time with the nominees?
We did. We actually had a few more days, I think almost 2 weeks with them. And because of the virtual nature, we have all of these big musical numbers, and we try to stay true to the format of the Jimmy Awards. So there, as you were saying, it was a big opening number. There are character-driven medleys. There's a big medley production number and closing number. And we, gave them their material, and they worked with the musical director and their coaches over Zoom. And then they became little filmmakers and went out and shot all of this stuff. And then we essentially got it in and said, well, we need to reshoot this and that. So there was a lot of that going on. But my favorite time with the Jimmy Awards is, of course, when I get to work with them one-on-one with their solos that they perform for the judges. So that was very special this year because, again, over Zoom, it's a very personal kind of conversation that you have, which I think in a lot of ways was more rewarding than when we normally do it in a big room with 100 people in the room. So I think there's some great takeaways this year.
Yeah. Let's talk about the mentors. I mean, this is always such an exciting event of the people that you get to work with the kids. I mean, what were some of your favorite takeaway moments with the mentors this year working with the kids?
Well, we had an interview with Michael Greif, which is pretty wonderful. Evan Hansen, of course, is Jimmy Lore, because so many of our nominees have ended up in that show. They got to work, of course, and hear from Tara Rubin and Bernie Telsey. Some of their coaches are just, incredible. Janet DeCall and Anna Cantor and Eden Espinoza. Wonderful year. Wonderful.
Yeah. Kiesha, for you, takeaway moments for you with working with the mentors, just the mentors with the kids.
Yeah, the mentors, I think what I love the most about it is their ability to foster confidence. And that, to me, every year, year in, year out, they walk in with their songs, and they leave this program just being more confident in what they are able to do. And so much of the competition aspect goes away. And it really is about them developing and just becoming, again, more confident in what they are capable of doing in their own authenticity. And I contribute so much of that to the mentors in that process in that room. So.
It's interesting because, over the years I followed for a few days in the rehearsal room, meeting a lot of these kids. And like you said, it becomes a community, a theatrical community. They know they're competing to a certain extent, but they're like, oh my God, I made all these great friends. You look at all these groups of kids that eat together and talk about their lives together, and, shows they did in school, and, where they first fell in love with musical theater. So it becomes more like they found their community, they found their family when they go through this competition. And you don't always see that, but there's something extra special about the Jimmy Awards that takes that extra, the competing thing out of it. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, just like when you work in a musical, it becomes a family, and they're bonded together very quickly. And Kiesha and I and the whole team made sure that this year we found ways so they could communicate with each other. They spent time, texting each other and sharing experiences. And I think that's one of the valuable takeaways as well from our program.
Yeah. Kiesha, for you, that community.
Yeah, I mean, for Van and I, from the very, very beginning in establishing this program, it was not really about best actor, best actress, right? Winning something. It was about building confidence, about building a community, about building the future of theater, whether it's on stage or off stage. And so through that arts educational process, so much of what we do is really just for them, their advancement as human beings. And if they go into the industry, great. And if not, great. But we're here again to foster confidence and help further develop this sense of community within themselves as well as around them.
Yeah. Collaboration is very important. I have watched the two of you over these years. You're the perfect yin and yang for each other. I mean, you just look at each other and you just do what the other one is thinking or whatever. Where did you two first meet, and why do you think you work so well together? Anybody can start.
Well, we met at Pittsburgh CLO, of course. Kiesha has worked at CLO for many, many, many years. And because of that working relationship, moving that to the Jimmy Awards was a natural. The Jimmy Awards came out of the Gene Kelly Awards, which we have in Pittsburgh. Gene Kelly was the honorary chair of our board, and we created this program, the Tony Awards for high school students. And Kiesha and I worked on that program. So, after a while, when you're working with another artist, you begin to develop your own language and your own style, and you do know what the other one's thinking. So I think that's one of the secrets to our collaboration.
Kiesha.
Yeah, I mean, and I do, just to kind of piggyback on that and expand, you work with certain directors, you work with certain choreographers, but then there's that connection. And I do believe that Van and I have that in this creative way. And the core of that, though, is that it's for the kids, for the advancement for these young hopefuls. And so knowing that, we do have a special bond that way. But I do believe that we have a creative bond, and we've done shows together very easy. You have that natural, organic, authentic connection. And I'm so blessed to have it with Mr. Kaplan. I'm so blessed. So it's cool. It's pretty special.
Back at you.
Always have hosts that just drop whatever they are doing to be a part of this. And this year, of course, you have the amazing and one of the sweetest people in the world and most talented, Corbin Bleu, of course, from High School Musical and from so many Broadway shows. I mean, how excited are the two of you? The kids must be over the moon, have watched him, and now he's going to be the host.
And he, as you said, he is just fantastic. And they did get to spend some time with Corbin, and as you might imagine, he was just as personable and giving as it possibly could be. And he's just a perfect person to have as our host, and completely gets the program, knew all about it. It was very special. It is very special.
Yeah. Kiesha, for you.
Well, I think so much of this, and it just kind of circles back to the Van and I connection as well. You want to find someone that gets it, and Corbin gets it. And so that, again, makes it just a little bit more special for everyone involved. And he's a great human being. So he just gets it, and it's a perfect fit. Very exciting year.
Yeah. It's also, the hosts have always been so honest with these kids too, because everybody thinks these people, like someone touches them and say, oh my God, you're going to be a star. They work just as hard and started the same way these kids did, and I think it puts that human touch, like, oh my gosh, he went to a public school, or he did this like I'm doing. So it's not just like he wasn't just tapped on the shoulder. He worked just as hard to get where he is. And these kids can sort of put a face on it. That must mean a lot.
We also talk to them about all of the other jobs behind the scenes, stage management, off the stage, and PR, and all different aspects of the industry, which is important because some of them will go on, but the big majority of them won't, and there are other careers. And we had a number of conversations about that, and Corbin, of course, echoed that as well.
See, I love that because it takes a village, as they say, to put a show together. It's a community. There's so many other great things. Costume designers, set designers, lighting designers, stage managers. I mean, wig people. There's so many makeup people. There's so many people that you can be connected to the theater, that you can be like, oh my gosh, I added this to the show,
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like just this year alone for the Jimmy Awards, so much of the backstage support has shifted over to media, editing, film, those kinds of things. So the team was just as big, and it just shifted the energy in a different way. So another lesson learned for these participants, and I mean, the knowledge that I've gained, as well as Van, I'm sure Van's pretty much a TV film director now. So it's these kinds of tools that you learn through this process, but their perspective and understanding another avenue, another lesson learned, more resources beyond the stage. And now they've learned, again, filmmaking and these kinds of just different skills that they'll have for a lifetime.
I'm sure as a director and choreographer and teachers, you teach, but I'm sure from these kids, you've learned so much over the past 12 years of meeting so many of them. Is there something you would just tell me, like one little thing, what you learned from these kids that you might use with what you do as a choreographer or as a director?
Well, for me, it's just the kind of innocence and creativity that they bring. And, we get so jaded occasionally in this industry, and we're in our little shells and our boxes, but they just seem to break through it and open everything up. There is a future for the industry, and it's in these nominees.
That's beautiful. Kiesha, for you.
For me, it's honestly, it's probably just a little bit more spiritual. It's the same kind of thing, but of course I go to that place that's a little bit more emotional. It's just the love and hope. So the genuine love they have for each other, for the process, for the experience, and then the hope for just a better day, and then just living their dreams. And if it's the last time they hit the stage, they're happy about it. And if it's the first time that puts them on the path to another career or, a different avenue in this industry, it's just that sense of hope. So I would say the love and hope is what I learn every single year. I walk away with those two reminders.
We also have to give a big shout out to the Broadway League Foundation as producer of the event. Would you like to add something about the Broadway League and what they have put into the Jimmy Awards for the past?
Well, we wouldn't be here without the Broadway League and their support. So, and all of the member theaters, the regional theaters that help, support through their donations and just general, belief in what we're doing is benefiting the industry in a real way. The Broadway League, through all of its programs, is an incredible catalyst for the industry and for the Jimmys. So yes, thank you.
Yeah. Kiesha, you want to add something to that?
I mean, just so blessed to be a part of it. And again, exactly what Van said, that they believe in what we're doing, this mission and vision. And the entire team and the regional theaters and every single person that contribute to this. Rachel Reiner and what she does on a daily basis, and Amanda, her team, and the support that they have provided for us has been just extraordinary. And I do want to recognize, and I've said this a little bit earlier, I talked to Dan about it. I think the coolest thing this year is the behind the scenes moments with grandma trying to figure out how to hold an iPhone, and that kind of support on a different layer of, these shoots on location, and everyone coming together to make this happen this year has just been so beneficial and rewarding and fulfilling. So thank you to everybody, because we wouldn't be here without everyone that came in to play.
See, that's great though, because a lot of the families could eventually watch it if they could get a ticket to go to the awards, but now they help their their kids. I'll hold the camera, I'll hold the light.
Yes.
Goosebumps again. There it goes. It's the Jimmy Awards, but it's like they all came together to be like, oh my gosh, I helped get them there. It's got to be so exciting that way. My final question for both of you is, it is the 12th annual Jimmy Awards. It has brought so much joy to so many people. When you think of 12th annual, what is going through your minds?
All of the lives that we've touched. There are probably over 600 participants now, probably more, that have gone through the Jimmy Awards, and they've had an experience that is truly meaningful. I just don't know any other program that is able to deliver the way we have over the years. So I'm really pleased and honored to be a part of it.
Beautiful. Kiesha.
I just keep thinking that, like, let's keep going. So it just gives you so much energy and a sense of purpose for tomorrow. And yes, reflecting and thinking about everything that has changed through the years and the lives we've touched. But for me, it's the hope of tomorrow, and what more can we do to help and keep propelling these careers and lives forward. So let's keep going.
Well, I'll be there with you all for the 24th and then on, since when we get to that. But you bring so much joy, even as a media person, when we go to this BroadwayWorld, I walk out of there with a light ease in my step, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Just from a rehearsal too, and then the show itself, you realize this is the future, and this is what you've given to the theater. So once again, everybody, the 12th annual Jimmy Awards will take place on July 15th. Just go to thejimmyawards.com. It's an incredible website. You'll see all the incredible sponsors, like you had mentioned, all the regional theaters, Dear Evan Hansen, the Broadway League, everybody who just, everybody gives a little to make a lot that puts this show on. It's really, really wonderful. At least I got to catch up with the two of you this way this year.
So great.
It was great to see you.
Your energy, your support, your genuine love for this program, and for believing in what we're doing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I always smile in your room. I go to those rehearsals early on. I'm like, can we do more? Can we shoot more? Can I meet more kids? And then it's just so nice to hear their stories. Like I said, stay well, everybody. We'll join you. We'll see you all on July 15th for the Jimmy Awards. Van, Kiesha, always a pleasure. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon.